Hello, hi. Did you know 46% of y'all are not subscribed to the channel? Now, hear me out. It's free. We both get something out of it. You help me, and it saves you time to find my videos. So I recommend it. It's a pretty cool thing. It's free, and if you don't like my content later on, you can easily unsubscribe. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but I recommend you do it. Okay, let's talk about the crazy things that have been happening recently with the Hangzhou Spark. If you guys have not been seeing it, I'm going to go over everything that has been happening recently. Also talking about the games that happened last weekend as well. But I need to jump into this huge topic, which is the Hangzhou Spark. So if you guys did not see, let's go ahead and talk about the big thing that came through. And it's only their first weekend in, by the way, their first couple of games, and they're already doing changes. And this is looking kind of scary for the team. And if we look at this coaching update from the team, it says Hangzhou Spark has made the following coaching staff adjustments. Effective today, Pajian will no longer serve the role of the head coach, nor you will no longer serve the role of assistant coach. In the meantime, Adante will serve as the Sparks interim head coach, which is crazy. It's literally their first weekend, their first couple of games already, and they're already making changes. Now, yes, I will say, it wasn't the greatest performances. They've had some here and there sub-outs with Takoyaki and many other things with their performance so far. They look very uncoordinated. But there's another thing we got to add to this. Now, before we get into this leak, I have no idea where this leak came from. I just saw it on Twitter off a guy named LaggyOW. If you want to see it yourself, I don't know if you would delete it or not. But this is where the leak comes from. It comes from an article in the Korean community. It's what it says. And honestly, I believe a lot of stuff that is being said on this, and that's why I'm going to be talking about it in this video. It did not go on Reddit, but it was leaked apparently somewhere, and LaggyOW put it on Twitter. So I got to shout that stuff out about LaggyOW and where it comes from. But here are the leaks. And in this leak, it says Lightning. I think it's supposed to mean Spark, but here it is. In the Hangzhou's Lightning team, let's say Spark. Before the Hangzhou Spark, team officials announced that Pajian and Noryu had left the team. An anonymous user inside the Korean community posted the following revelations. The brief translation of the site as follows. Players switched to two-way contracts. I don't know about that one just yet. Using Takoyaki instead of Gujue is the reason for Pajian's departure. Noryu is in the same faction as Pajian and also leaves the team. I still don't know how to say this guy's name, so please forgive me. Pujipeng, I think that's how you say his name, leaves the team. And then Takoyaki, IDK, and MCD leave the team. Liga, Kodis switched from two-way players to official players, and Adante was promoted to head coach for ensuring Gujue's main position, and Chinese coach U4 stays in the team. Now, I gotta say, I honestly believe this. With how Spark is performing so far, the instant, and I'm talking instant coaching changes, and apparently the person who leaked this actually leaked Pajian and Noryu releasing as well. Like before they got released, this person leaked it apparently. And when I say apparently, I mean kind of a rumor. So I don't know, I haven't seen that. I've not seen that leak. But so far, let's take this as a grain of salt. Let's take this as an actual rumor. I've never heard of these people before leaking this. But the reason I'm talking about it is because I kind of believe it. I see these things happening with like I said already, with the instant coaching changes instantly. And everything going on with this team, they're not looking really coordinated right now. It's just a mess with the Spark so far. I believe this is happening. Takoyaki, IDK, MCD leaving, which it's just crazy for me to see IDK and MCD go. Takoyaki kind of makes sense, but MCD, I would say, has been one of their best players so far on the team with his off-sport play. And you look at IDK, he has been a all-right main sport all around. He's never been a shining spot so far this season and last season, but he's still all right. Then you look at players switch to two-way contract. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know. It kind of got cut off, so I don't know if it means all players switch to two-way contracts. I don't even know if that's allowed, to be honest. You have Liga, Coda switch from two-way players to official players. There's a lot of weird things in here, but after, like I said already, after what we saw, I believe this. So that's basically everything that has happened so far at the Spark so far. Rough first weekend for the team, and already changes already in the leagues as well. Keep this in mind, please take this as a rumor. I'm gonna go over that one rumor. Don't take it as a leak just yet. All I am is putting it in here because I kind of believe it. Now let's talk about the Boston Uprising. This team really kind of disappointed me. It really did. I expected a lot more from this team. And I gotta say, I don't know where to start with this team so far. One of the big things I'll start right now is, what's the coaching decisions? What is with Valentine playing Doomfist? I can tell this is a coaching decision, not a Valentine decision. The thing with many of these comps is that it just makes it way easier for players like Stamlin to push in and go forward, where if you look back at the VOD where they went against LA Gladiators, Stan1 was standing still all the time. He looked like he didn't know what to do, and he died a lot because the enemy team, the Gladiators, walled him off and they just pushed. Where Boston, they could never get the wall and push after that. So it was just a lot of confusing things going on there. And then you have Valentine playing the Doomfist, which I have no idea what he's playing the Doomfist for. He kept dying over and over again. He occasionally got some plays here and there, but the fight right after, they lost. They couldn't wall anything. They couldn't freeze anyone. They couldn't do a thing. And it just made me so confused with the Boston Uprising strategies going on there. And then if you look at the team all around, Faith is doing some questionable things on his Lucio, where like he's not with his team sometimes. The beats are not hitting right. I mean, Myeonbong had a fantastic first weekend, in my opinion. It wasn't top tier. I'm just being out of the all Boston Uprising players, he had probably the best performance, and that's not even saying a lot. Unfortunately, when they went against the Dallas Fuel, this guy was so close, getting game-changing sleeps against Doha every EMP, but he was a tiny bit too late to get those EMPs canceled, and that would have been game-changer if he got all those sleeps. But unfortunately, it was a second too late, and it almost didn't matter. Then you have Punk and Stan1. I know a lot of people are complaining that where's Gableshe? Where's Gableshe? Why is Punk playing? Y'all gotta remember, visas are a thing. He's not in the States. He's not gonna play on ping. Y'all gotta remember that. Gableshe's not gonna be playing for a hot minute. But they got Punk in, which I think he's doing an alright job. You have Stan1, which he occasionally has some moments, but he can't do anything, and a lot of people are putting the hate on Stan1, but he can't really do anything without a Mei player, without an actual good comp around him. Now, yes, there is occasional moments where he does kind of do his own thing. It's just not that smart, for sure. Yeah, I get it. But then you have the whole team around him that needs to also play with Stan1 with like the Mei. And keep in mind, on Oasis, the first map, they did run the Mei and they won the first map and they looked solid with it. They ran Mei really well with I'm37 playing McCree. I'm37 looked comfortable on McCree, and the rest of the game he was playing McCree and he looked not so comfortable as he was with the Mei. So it's just a lot of confusing things. And you have I'm37 playing the Sombra. I was not impressed with Sombra at all as well in the Oasis map in all series. So I need Boston to get these strategies down. Like, they're playing not the greatest comps in this meta right now. I just think Mei is a full-on, you need this one in your composition in certain maps. Of course, certain maps, not all maps. Mei does not work on all of them. But I feel like if Boston just puts Mei in their composition for like a couple of maps, they will look a tiny bit better. And we'll see what goes on later at the Boston Uprising. So far, kind of disappointed, but we'll see what goes on later throughout the season. They still have Gableshe to get later throughout the season as well, so we'll see. Now let's talk about the London Spitfire. This team may be in contention for being the worst team in the league of the Vancouver Titans. I love to see how that game will go out. It'll be a toilet bowl. It'll be the next one. I'm excited to see that one. Because may I say, London Spitfire running some of the weirdest comps I've seen. And when they're running these comps, they're not even doing a good job. I mean, look at Chengdu Hunters. They're kind of running the same comps and they're doing a fantastic job executing on their plans. And whereas London Spitfires look like they have no idea what they're doing. And when you look at this team all around, it's just weird. It's just weird. I mean, you had the support line, Kelix and Ripa. Why are they running on a Zen? This is a coaching decision. It's not a them decision. And I'm just so confused. They're doing nothing. There's no peel in this team from Molfig or Hottie occasionally. You have Shax who's doing his own thing, which I get it. If I was Shax, I would do the same thing. And when I'm watching Shax, I feel like when I'm watching him, he has the mindset of this team's not that good. I need to try and make a play. I need to try and do something. I need to try and focus the supports, get the backline gone. And so the team pushes in. And yes, he occasionally did that and the team did push in, but the fight right after they lost, they just felt like Shax carried a fight and then right after they dropped the ball. Shax tried his best. He didn't have a fantastic performance, but when you are on a bad team, you're not going to look that good sometimes. Then you have Blase playing the Mei. I mean, it was all right. And then you have Hybrid. He's occasionally playing decent. It's not the best. So London Spitfire, I really expected a little bit more from this team. Yes, I knew they were going to be a bottom tier team. They were going to be a bad team, but I did not expect this bad of a performance from the London Spitfire. Then let's move on to another team that I did not expect to be bad performance is the NYXL. I expected this team to perform a little bit better. Now, I didn't expect them to be top tier, just a little bit better. You know, you changed the coaching staff up. I knew even before this, they didn't really change the coaching staff that much. They still have kind of the same staff. They just kind of moved everyone around. IMT is no longer the head coach. You have Why Not being the head coach now. Some changes. Then we start off in the season. Flora, Ivy's the DPS duo. No Guangboong. You have the normal rest of the team. Yakpeng, Bianca, Friday, Jonak. And may I say, I think this team has a lot of potential, but we're just not seeing it so far. Maybe after this first weekend, the coaches will get their things together. They'll see what they did wrong, and they'll coach right after. Maybe that'll be the case. But I gotta say, they did not look that impressive so far at the start. But I will say, they did go against a rough team, but they also beat the Spark right after, which is a team that is in shambles right now. The NYXL did go against the Chengdu Hunters, which is probably the second best team in APAC right now, next to Philadelphia Fusion. So that's going to be a rough game, but I expected more. Maybe we'll see it more in the future. Maybe they'll change some more stuff up. They still have Flora starting. He wasn't that bad, but I feel like when Guangbong was playing, he wasn't that bad either. I did feel like I was watching kind of the same play style from Flora and Guangbong, but I'll trust the coaches on this one if Flora is better. But I've seen a lot of fantastic performances from Guangbong in the past, and it just blows my mind that he's not starting. Then on to the final topic I'm going to be talking about. It is Gaga. Just going to talk about him in general. You know, when I was making my predictions list, I really thought about putting Gaga in my top 3 potential Rookie of the Years. But I was like, is this guy really going to change the Hunters that much? I mean, I knew he was going to be good. I knew he was going to impact the team a little bit. But I had no clue he was going to impact the team as much as he's doing right now, making the Chengdu Hunters potentially the best team in APAC region. Obviously, Philadelphia Fusion is taking that now, but potentially in the future, even more metas. Gaga could make the Hunters the best team, and I would be incredibly happy. This guy so far is definitely in the argument for Rookie of the Year, next to maybe Mag or Pelican. Muse, unfortunately, not probably in the conversation anymore, but Pelican, Mag, and Gaga, definitely the top 3 in the conversation right now. I would be very happy if Gaga got it. This guy has a huge impact on the Chengdu Hunters right now, and I'm very excited for the future for this team. So yes, that is it. That is everything I want to talk about. I do not like talking about every team every weekend. I just talk about the teams I really want to talk about their performance, my whole thoughts about them in the weekend. I want to try and do this every weekend. I said that in my last video. We'll see what goes on more in the future. But also, I really want to talk about the Spark as well. That is a huge thing going on right now, where we had this potential leak that I really believe will happen. And I know we could talk about where they're going to go. I feel like these 3 players, MCD, IDK, and Takoyaki, could go to a lot of good teams, but maybe not in the APAC region, but in the NA region, which is rough because you need visas. You need all the visa stuff going on for these guys that actually go to the NA teams, which is really bad because I don't think they'll be able to get the visas in time to go to the NA teams. But then again, maybe they will. And if this is the case, I have no idea where these guys could go. I think if you look at Takoyaki, there's a chance for him to go on the Dallas Fuel. He won't get playtime. He won't get any playtime, but he could be a backup because Rush is a big fan of Takoyaki. He said he's going to be the next big main tank player coming in. Wouldn't be surprised if Dallas Fuel picked him up. I would also love if Takoyaki went on the Vancouver Titans if that was the case. He have MCD, a fantastic flex sport. He would be a huge upgrade over the Vancouver Titans, and that would be a move where they would probably win a couple of games putting MCD on there. Then on IDK, I have no idea where he would go, to be honest. Maybe the NYXL. I have not been impressed with Friday so far. NYXL could be a good spot for him. And maybe the MCD IDK duo can go to Vancouver Titans, even though I'm a fan of Fire, but it would be an upgrade potentially over Fire, but who knows? I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know the communications, but that is the case right now with these Spark players. So if you guys want to stay more in tune with the Overwatch League news and Overwatch League stuff in general, don't forget to subscribe down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord down below as well. And don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch. And don't forget to hit that bell. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.